This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. A defendant to become a witness in the Adrian Gibson trial. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says Bahamian troops would help Haiti with maritime security. And some politicians missed the public disclosure deadline. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll talk about Your Health. We've got a special theme going this week, and we're going to be talking about an expo and fair coming up in just a few weeks. And later in business, we're talking with the Petroleum Retailers Association. They're making another appeal to the government. We'll get what they're asking for this morning. That's all straight ahead this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the first cousin of Long Island MP Adrian Gibson has agreed to become a cooperating witness in the prosecution's trial against him and four others. Pursuant to an immunity agreement, Acting Director of Public Prosecutions, Cordell Frazier, presenting a nolli quas prosequi that formally discontinued proceedings against Rashay Gibson, a lash technician. She was previously on trial along with Adrian Gibson, Elwood Donaldson, Peaches Farquharson, Jerome Missick, and Joanne Knowles. Rashay Gibson faced a total of 26 charges, including conspiracy to commit bribery, conspiracy to commit fraud by false pretenses, and money laundering. She's given a witness statement to police investigators and given them her text messages. She's expected to testify against her former co-accused at a later date. As a result of the new development, Rashay Gibson's lawyers, Christina Galanis, Jacqueline Conyers, and Christina Wilson withdrew from the case. The former defendant turned prosecution witness also left the court with a huge smile on her face yesterday. The remaining defendants have maintained their not guilty pleas at their trial before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant-Thompson. The trial concerns the awarding of contracts during Adrian Gibson's tenure as executive chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation. The Davis administration has reached a settlement with former PLP Senator Frank Smith, who sued the government for malicious prosecution after he was acquitted of corruption-related charges, but the amount of that settlement remains unknown. Prosecutors had alleged that Smith abused his position as Public Hospitals Authority chairman for personal gain and had accused him of demanding $60,000 from cleaning company owner Barbara Hanna under the last Christie administration. Hanna had claimed that Smith helped her secure a $500,000 contract to clean the critical care block at Princess Margaret Hospital and demanded the payments to ensure that she kept it. However, the prosecution's case against Smith collapsed on February 1st, 2019, after Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt found Hanna's evidence unbelievable. Asked yesterday how he felt with the matter after now that it's fully settled, Smith told the NASA Guardian he felt a, quote, sense of relief. Amid a deepening crisis on the ground in Haiti, Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe says that 150 Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers who are slated to take part in the United Nations mission in the neighboring country will be responsible only for maritime security. Monroe telling the NASA Guardian that the commitment with the Haiti situation was to assist in training the Coast Guard element of the national police there. He says, quote, as the issue developed about the deteriorated state of Haiti, their need for maritime security, the current disposition of the Bahamas government in terms of planning, our position is we have offered maritime security, which would mean sending an officer or patrol craft off the coast of Haiti outside of their territorial waters to intercept contraband coming in and to turn human smugglers back with migrants. Monroe says offshore patrol vessels will have a complement of about 50 Defense Force officers. Some politicians have missed the March 1st deadline for financial disclosures. That's according to Public Disclosure Commission Chairman Bishop Victor Cooper. Cooper, who said he was out of town, could not give specifics on how many officials have yet disclosed. Asked if some politicians were filing past the deadline, he said, yes, that's the case. Asked if MPs and senators had asked for extensions, he confirmed that that was the case as well. The Public Disclosure Act empowers the Commission to extend the time for the filing of declarations for up to 30 days past the deadline. Cooper reiterated comments he made last week with the NASA Guardian when he told the NASA Guardian that the Commission hopes to soon launch an online portal where information on public disclosures will be uploaded for public scrutiny. And a 37-year-old man charged with vehicular manslaughter in connection to the death of Inspector Thomas McIntosh. The officer was conducting a traffic stop on Milo Butler Highway on January 31st when he was struck by a dump truck driven by Raymond Forbes. McIntosh was declared brain dead, and his family disconnected him from life support and donated his organs last month. Forbes did not have to enter a plea to the charge when he appeared before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. yesterday. He was granted $10,000 bail, and he returns to court on June 24th. Overseas, Haiti's prime minister landing in Puerto Rico, answering a key question on the minds of all Haitians ever since armed gangs plunged the long-suffering Caribbean nation into nearby anarchy. Where in the world is he? The embattled Ariel Henry yesterday, who assumed power following the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, has been notably absent since the country's latest and most serious outbreak of violence started last week. Henry has stayed silent as he crisscrosses the world from South Africa to Africa with Kenya, specifically with no announced date for return. Meanwhile, armed groups have seized on the power void, exchanging gunfire with police at Haiti's main international airport and instigating a mass escape from the country's two biggest prisons. Even a decree declaring a state of emergency and curfew to restore order lacked Henry's imprint. It was signed by his finance minister, who is serving as acting prime minister. By Tuesday afternoon, the mystery seemed to ease after officials said Henry landed in Puerto Rico. He arrived late in the afternoon in San Juan on a chartered flight that originated in New Jersey. Tracking data showed the flight was heading toward Dominican Republic, which shares with Haiti the island of Hispaniola, but circled mid-flight before diverting to Puerto Rico. Hours before he arrived in Puerto Rico, the Dominican government announced that it was immediately suspending all air traffic with Haiti. And Venezuela's highly anticipated presidential election will take place July 28th, the birthday of the country's late fiery leader, Hugo Chavez. Officials making that announcement on Tuesday, plowing ahead with a tight campaign season that deepens doubts over the participation of the opposition's leading candidate, as well as of international observers. President Nicolas Maduro is widely expected to run for re-election. His government initially negotiated details of the election with a faction of the opposition backed by the United States government. But differences between the sides have grown over the past 2 months. The date announced by the National Electoral Council president did meet at least one opposition demand that the election be held in the second half of the year. In sports, it was a tough start for both the Bahamian boys and girls youth teams of the World Junior Tennis North Central American and Caribbean pre-qualifying tournament. And while the boys were able to get a win in El Salvador, the girls lost. The tournament is a 14 and under tournament and features 17 countries in total, including the host country. The boys played the Dominican Republic and won 2-1. The girls team took on Costa Rica and had an uphill battle. They fell 3-0 and will move on to the consolation round. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, with every one of Dean Wade's shots that splashed through the net, the Cavaliers got closer to the Celtics, and his confidence grew. Wade made 5 3-pointers and scored 20 points in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Celtics by himself, and Cleveland won a replay review in the final second to stun Boston 105-104 Tuesday night, ending the NBA's longest winning streak this season at 11 games. With NFL star Travis Kelce urging on Cleveland's crowd from the courtside, the Cavs overcame a 22-point deficit in the final period, the biggest fourth-quarter comeback in franchise history. Cleveland storming back even without all-star Donovan Mitchell, who missed the game with a knee injury, as well as forward Evan Mobley, who went out with a sprained ankle in the third quarter. Wade finished with a career-high 23 points, coming to the rescue with his barrage of threes in the fourth and putting a putback dunk as well with 19.1 seconds left that put the Cavs ahead, 105-104. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got a surface trough in the Gulf of Mexico that's streaming moist, unstable weather across the northwest Bahamas, while a ridge of high pressure will linger over the islands. Beachgoers should be alert and exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents and east and northeasterly swells along Atlantic exposures. And there is a risk of flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas within the northwest Bahamas today. Your forecast for today for the northwest Bahamas: cloudy to overcast with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavy and severe at times. Clouds and shower activity will diminish through tonight, though. Small craft should exercise caution in sea swells. Wind southeast at 10 to 15 knots, gusting in showers and thunderstorms. Seas 2 to 4 feet, building to 5 to 7 feet in easterly swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, warm, with isolated showers and a thunderstorm possible in the central islands by this evening. Fair and mild with passing showers tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in swells. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the central Bahamas, increasing to 15 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central islands, but 3 to 5 feet in the southeastern islands. Seas are up to 7 feet in east and northeasterly swells. Temperature-wise, right now, it's about 74 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. We're looking at highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and look at after a look at traffic coming up in just a bit. It is time for a break, but when we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Champ, baby girl, cable guy is here.
Since the very beginning, you have been with us.
This is called, and this is called the internet. Okay. Right, so
for over 2 decades, we've been with you every step of the way.
Weibo is total class. Look at her go. She's in front.
I follow me. I'm president.
So yeah, times may have changed, and so have your needs as our valued customers. But some connections stand the test of time. Rev, we're with you.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612, You can tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we're going to be talking about an upcoming health fair, an Expo and Health Fair, Health is Wealth Expo and Health Fair. That's coming up later this month. We'll get details about that this morning. And later in business, we're talking with the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association. They're making another appeal to the government to address their situation, their margins, and we'll get the latest on that, where things stand at this point. That's all coming up, but right now let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, just want to get this out there. We're going to talk about it more in traffic as well, but the time is approaching for the roadworks on Eastern Road to commence. So if you're on Eastern Road right now, get through it as quickly as you can. I'm sure that's not easy. But you want to avoid that area today. Expected to begin today. The paving works at the junction of Johnson Road heading east to Fox Hill Road on Eastern Road. That is expected to begin at 7:30 this morning and continue daily until 3:30 this afternoon. And that's going to go on from March 6th today through March 22nd. So that's a couple of weeks there. So again, avoid the area entirely, and that's going to be very challenging. A lot of you use that to get anywhere from Eastern New Providence in the morning. So I don't know how you're going to manage this. And that's going to mean definitely more congestion on Prince Charles Drive and Yamacraw Hill Road. So keep that in mind.
All in the back there.
It's going to be awful. But Eastern Road desperately needs paving. Desperately. And well east of Fox Hill needs it as well. So I hope they have that planned out at some point. So, again, follow the posted traffic signs and note that only business owners and residents will be allowed access through the road sites at 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. daily, beginning today until March 22nd. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
I just have one thing to say. Helmets, you're supposed to wear them, right? If you're on a bike, scooter.
Sure, yes.
It's the requirement. It's the law.
It's required,
It
yes.
is definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like a seatbelt.
But we know you can count on one hand in a week how many people you see wearing helmets outside of the police.
Yeah.
I've always wondered about that, right? And I say, well, it's hard to catch somebody on a scooter. If you are in a car, maybe. Like, how are you going to really, especially, and if you go in the opposite direction, like, you're going to make a U-turn and then go out. Anyway, so you make excuses. But I saw something yesterday. I really wish, but, I couldn't do it. I was driving. But I saw something yesterday. Unbelievable. I'm heading east, and at a traffic light, I see two individuals on two motorbikes. One with a helmet. I see it's a police officer. Okay. And right next to him on a scooter, there's a guy with no helmet. They're like sitting next to each other at the stoplight. I'm like, this is impossible. Really? Is it really the law? I wish I had my camera. I wish I could have taken the things. I was like, okay, so this is it. This is all the challenges we have in the Bahamas. This is a picture. This will tell you everything. It is against the law, but you could be right there by the police in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Either they don't remember that's something that they should cite people
who doesn't
for,
remember?
the police.
Oh,
I don't know.
No,
I'm gonna try and figure it out.
Or they don't think it's a big deal. It's like, why are we harassing these people?
Or they're probably like that strict mother who's like, I didn't tell you. If you don't listen, you can feel.
You wish is that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's like whatever. That's on your head, literally.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But oh well.
But it's funny you said that because I actually saw a video yesterday of this technology somewhere where they put a screen up at an intersection, and as motorcyclists pull up, the tech would recognize that they're not wearing a helmet, show their face on the screen, and it put up a sign. Like it read, I don't know what it was in a different language. It was in a different language.
It's a different country. Where you say it
was?
Yeah.
I don't remember where.
Okay.
It didn't, and I don't think the thing said.
Mm-hmm.
But it I guess it used AI tech to see that they didn't have on a helmet, and then put up a warning sign on that screen, basically shaming them, and they all like looked at it, pulled out their helmet, and put it on at the intersection.
Nice. They actually had the helmet on the bike.
On the bike, yeah, well, but they weren't wearing it.
Well, if only we could see that around here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just thought that was quite something. But hey. Let's. We got a lot of messages already about this. This person says here there are no signs of any road paving as yet on Eastern Road. Well, they said 7:30. Maybe that's when they'll get to work. I don't know, but that's what the notice that went out yesterday. So expect it today, and don't take a chance and get caught in that. Yeah. So you've been warned. Yeah, everybody, including tourists, break this law. Another one. Eyewitness to fender bender yesterday on Mila Butler Highway. A woman hit the back of another car because she had her phone in her hand and wasn't paying attention. Okay, that's every hour around here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Every hour around here.
It's not cool to live in this country.
What does that mean?
People clearly want to die.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not wearing a helmet especially on a bike. And the things that these people do on bikes.
Dwight, the police officer, may have just given him a ticket. Yeah, no, I don't think so. You can tell by body language. Nah, I don't think you'd be just sitting right there next to him after he gave you a ticket. I don't think so. But anyway, just observations. Okay. There's some interesting things in the papers today. Defendant to become a witness in Gibson trial. That is quite something. Read about that in today's Asset Guardian. Artisa Davis writing about it. One of the accused in the bribery case is now turned prosecution witness. And so she's got an immunity agreement apparently. So the details in the paper today. And another story, government settles with Frank Smith, the former PLP senator. The amount of the settlement is unknown. This is keeping with that trend of the public not knowing ever about these things. Why should we care? It's not like it's our money. But yeah. All right. There's something in the paper yesterday I want to get to, though, before we get to this story about disclosures. I think people know how passionate I am about decentralized government and strengthening local government and adding local government to new province. Well, this story was in the Tribune yesterday. Minister Clay Sweeting says draft amendments aim to strengthen local government. So the article says that Works and Family Island Affairs Minister Clay Sweeting said his ministry has drafted amendments to the Local Government Act to strengthen the effect of local government on family island communities. So once again, no New Providence, even though we were promised in the Blueprint for Change that New Providence, our time was coming. But no. It's unclear whether the Davis administration has a timeline for bringing the amendments to Parliament. In the 2021 speech from the throne, the administration promised to, quote, empower local government with revenue-raising powers and share jurisdiction over local affairs and community management and development. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. However, little has been said about it since then. In honor of Local Government Month, Minister Sweeting said yesterday that local councils have played a vital role in developing family islands by improving infrastructure and local and community service. He said, quote, local government serves as the backbone of progress, fostering greater efficiency in addressing the unique needs of every community. This is important to empower local leaders who have been elected to unlock the true potential for the substantial growth while also preserving the rich cultural heritage of the community, of each community. Streeting said for the first time in over 20 years, the Davis administration increased the budget for local government at the start of the fiscal year. Still want to get back to this sentence. It's unclear whether the Davis administration has a timeline for bringing the amendments to Parliament. And it's unclear if there will ever be local government for New Providence. Let's talk about it, though. What do you make of it? Give us your views. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Local government.
Local government.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Why are we so slow to move on this? And why are so few voices making noise about it for New Providence? What do you think that's about?
No, if the people who govern don't want it.
No, what does that have to do with anything? Who cares? Who cares? It's not up to them. Is this their house? Is this their home? What? Who cares what they want?
No, they got to send the law through, huh?
Yeah. So. Oh, okay. Well, if you think like that, folks, that's exactly why we face some of the challenges we face, because you think it's up to them to decide these things. No. You tell them what you want, and they have to make it work.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it's supposed to go.
Oh, okay.
And if it isn't going like that, you got to deal with it.
Oh, how do we deal with it?
You know exactly what to do.
Ooh.
There are legal ways, and there are some other ways. But you got to do something, if that's what you want. But obviously, maybe you don't want it. Is that what it is? But the way you hear the things that people say.
Nobody's calling for it.
Not nobody.
No side. What? No side is talking
about
it.
No, they all do when it's election time. Everybody says it. All of them in every single campaign booklet. Everyone did. I can show you.
They talk about strengthening local government.
And introducing it for New Providence.
Oh, okay.
All of them said it.
Well, I don't know.
And every time we end up where we are. Right? They say that to lure the few of us on, right, who are not party affiliated, like, okay, finally this may be the time. But here we are again, always. But if you listen to the people, you can hear that they are calling for this to speed up the time in which things are done, as opposed to having to wait for the prime minister or the cabinet to decide every single thing, including a pothole in Rumkey or wherever it is, when that will get addressed, as opposed to empowering the local communities to deal with these small things and bigger things in terms of including development and visions for their areas.
I mean, that's about the allocation of money. That's the big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but but when you mention Rumkey, and they haven't moved on this either. But when they're supposed to give some of these islands some of their money back?
Well, I guess this is what it's talking about, right? Empowering revenue raising. Right, revenue raising powers for these local governments, and I think that covers that part. But yeah, when?
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but there's no why should again? And we said this before. Why should they give a lot of that power away to somebody to run a part of the island?
Because right now, everything's happening, growing up like weeds. There doesn't seem to be any structure. There's confusion on how to get from A to B. Why do I have to go to PQRST before I get to B? Right? Because clearly the government processes, the central government processes, are too complicated and there's too much bureaucracy. Simplify it and let these communities handle these things. And you take care of the big stuff.
But that person elected as the councillor or chief of that area don't necessarily have to be a part of their party because they're elected by the people of that area.
Right. And what?
That's dangerous for them.
How? How is it dangerous? How is it dangerous?
It's dangerous for them.
Why would it be? Tell me how. I mean, everybody says these things, but tell me how it's dangerous.
I'm sure there's a mindset that exists that says if my people don't get into many of these areas, when a general rolls around the next time, and they've done a good job in those areas, my people are going to be out of the government. I'm sure there's a piece of a brain in the people that run the country that says that.
Well, that must be the only piece of the brain they have. The thing is, again, if you are running for the House,
but
you need to be a lawmaker, and that needs to be your sole focus. If you want to develop the community, you need to run for local government. But that's how it should be.
But if that is the mindset, if that does exist, that
don't elect
does
those
exist.
people. Don't elect those type of people.
Well, you understand that they clearly don't mean the country well.
Yeah. And you need to find out and ask them. If when they come to your house, ask them these questions.
Yeah.
Right? And if they give you a waffly answer and they think, well, I don't know if we're ready yet, one day eventually, get out of my house. Go.
But also there are parts of our country, of the population, when one party is in power, they could care less about something like this.
Yeah, clearly.
And that's not a small portion of society, right? Mm-hmm. There's the party subscribers, right? There's them. There's the agnostics. And then there's the other party guys who maybe don't care about anything when their party ain't in power.
Yeah.
So they're agnostic too. So who else you got rallying for this?
It's got to be the people.
What people?
No,
they all wearing a color, or they don't care.
The next time you drive through some of our communities, even here in New Providence, and just say, well, why is this here? Why isn't this here? How come we don't have one of these here? Why don't they have that over there? And who decided to put this here? Just think about it, because there's nobody here in terms of the planning, the future proofing of this island. We've left that up to many drones and ministries, and this is not the way to do it. And look at the Family Islands, you can see it there too. That too many of our settlements are just photocopies of other settlements. There's nothing to set them apart. They just all look the same, no identity. We've just done this to ourselves. And this is what happens when a central authority is running things miles and miles and miles away. And if you like it like that, well, then, okay, I need to get with the program and shut my mouth, right? If not, let's talk. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Okay, so we're seeing the Ministry of Work says that they've pushed back the start time to 9 o'clock, but still going on until 3:30, so the rush hour people can get through. 9 o'clock is when it'll start till 3:30 today. So, okay, good to know. We'll remind you about that in traffic this morning. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning to both of you, Blend.
Hi.
Yeah, I think we like it like that. You must appreciate the fact that we have numbing down ourselves to the point where we just like it like that. The Prime Minister is unable to get some of these guys to disclose. He doesn't have the power to do it. You're talking about local government?
He does have the power to do it.
No,
but he's not using it.
Let's talk about the power in a little while. He's not using the power to do it. I would give you that.
Well, we don't even know if he did.
See, well, now here we go. But Dwight, I got a bridge to sell you. In fact, I got some more things to give you if you can get this local government up and running, man. That's a contribution that I could really get from some friends of mine to assist you in that. But you see, Bahamians need to really settle in and realize that there are 4 powers. There are only 4 of them. And if we could manage the 4 of these powers, we'll have a better country. Number 1 is the power of awareness. Number 2 is the power of clarity. Number 3 is the power of creation. And the 4th one is the power of balance. And when you find that we are lacking the ability to be aware of what's in front of us, what's behind us, on the side of us, we prefer to have clutter over clarity. We believe that only God could create, and we're in trouble. And then we lose our balance. And this is where we are, my friend.
Yeah. Very sad. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wow. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Golly days stuck in a race along with you in Chester, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you all. Dwight, you know, nobody had established any sketch for the family islands to say how to develop it. You see, the family islands has a lot of vegetation. It has a lot of vital food, okay? And nobody are considering that. Everybody say, well, develop the family island. How and for what? Because you want some money? Okay? The thing is, so those people live by the vegetation and the natural resources. And nobody's speaking of nobody's sketching the situation whereby how to develop the family island. Nobody cares. And the thing is, right, I grew up in Mason's tradition from a little child, right? From my first came from Auckland. And this is not the place I grew up in, you know? This is not the place I grew up in. It's nasty. It has a lot of illegals in this area. I mean, you know, nobody cares.
Okay.
You see, something needs to be done.
Thank you very much. I agree with you. Yes. Okay. Let's get to the text messages here. This person says, yes, 9 o'clock. Dwight, I've seen with my own two eyes police driving past so many lawbreakers, and it's like they're saying to themselves, I ain't got no time for that. So everyone keeps breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
Well. Yes, road work starts at 9 o'clock. Right. Why are so many Bahamians okay with these secret government payouts to former ministers and government officials? Yeah. These are public funds that should be public knowledge, and we wonder why there is so much corruption and crime in the country. Our people are corrupt and don't operate on the principle of the greater good. We just don't trust people in our country. It seems like just another layer, another means for corruption. That's what you're saying about local government. Okay, well, that another person. The problem with local government is similar to freedom of information. It's hard to give the people authority without giving the authority, or giving people information without giving them useful information.
Okay.
What?
I think I follow.
It is hard to give the people authority without giving the authority, or giving people information without giving them useful information. Okay. Dwight, you really think people are asking questions of their politicians other than pay their light bill or give them a stove? Would you? What do you mean, would I? What are you saying? Would I what? Ask them how they feel about local government? Yeah, absolutely. I don't want a stove or thing. Anyway, you're going to regret that. You do that, they're going to have to pay for it somehow. Another one here, the reasons are blatantly obvious as to why local government is not a priority: power and influence, contract manipulation, and other corrupt and unethical practices. And what about it? We are all just going to continue to say that every year, or you're going to do something about it? You can say, oh, well, yeah, I get it, because they want to be corrupt. Indefinitely? Yeah? That's how it is. I see. Interesting.
We got to find us a good one next time.
Every 5 years. Let me try this one over here. One. Let me go back. Maybe he's changed. He's older now. Let me try him again. Yeah. No. He ain't changed. Let me put the other one back there. Okay, this is son of the one that was here before. He's going to be better. Yeah. It's a new generation. Yeah. Oh, boy, just like your daddy. Wow. Y'all like this? Okay. Politicians will promise you... That was so sad. I got to take a break on that, though. That's horrible. That was like not... Because that's exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh. Let me read a few more of these messages before we go. Politicians will promise you anything and everything and still not fulfill them. A promise is a comfort to a fool. Well, if you still keep allowing them to make promises to you after breaking all the other ones, then, yeah, you definitely are a fool. The danger of local government is that the adoration of the voting will be split between central government and local government officials. Central government wants to have the undivided attention of the voting public. Two governments fighting for attention return the power to the people. Bahamas need to be libertarians, not liberals. There is a difference.
Well, people wanted Columbus statue gone. And you know what had to happen for it to be gone?
Hey, Texter, I hear your point, right? But you can have it all, right? Everywhere else in the world can show you this. You can be obsessed with your local officials and obsessed with the president or prime minister and all the House members and the senators. You can still do it. Just look to your left, look to the north, look everywhere. It happens. It doesn't change anything, but they're more efficient and things get done, and you don't need to wait for the prime minister or the president to do something when it's right outside your door. And you know who to go to. You don't have to call a bloated ministry and speak to 25 people who don't know anything, keep transferring you. So you tell me. You tell me which one makes sense. This person says here, let me clarify. This is the person who says about the authority and the information. Yeah. Let me clarify. The people in power do not want to reduce their power, but want to give the illusion of reducing their power. This is difficult. We have the illusion of choosing our leader, but we really do not, are we? I don't think there's any illusion about that. Right?
Again.
400. How many people in the constituency? 4,000 plus the 39 in the House, I guess, perhaps, maybe. Or so you could say barely 5,000 people choose that. Yeah. So no illusion. Let's take this call and then we will take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Justin. Good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi, good morning.
I want to respond to something that Raymond said. Dwight, I always do with local government, but are you in Chester familiar with the Wildlands Project and the rewilding of America? Are you familiar with that? No. But listen then. You hear to talk about carbon credits, right, Chester? All right, so what that would mean that if the islands, with sustainable development, right, is something the way to go now. We hear the government talking about debt for nature swap. How long was I talking about, Dwight? That's from Lester Cox and Cousin Smith is on the radio. You guys don't remember that, right? All right. Now, here's what happened. We have these islands that are sparsely populated with a lot of vegetation, right, Chester?
Yeah.
And so we're dealing with carbon credits. So then we can use the carbon credits and the offsetting of these islands with a lot of forests and use that money from the carbon credits to fund developing these islands sustainably. All right? But you have to understand, right, this is a farce of a conversation because then you have, you say one carbon credit is equal to a metric ton, right? So why can't we take the money? But Dwight, tell you the truth, I'm guilty because I didn't read the legislation. It's a place where Lincoln being said you could go and read upon it, right? It's some intricacy. I didn't read it, but I knew about it before they even passed the legislation. So in other words, what I'm saying is, why is the government talking about debt for nature swap, Chester? You guys have to. Why are they talking about debt for nature swap? Then you can use carbon credits to for monetary gains. We shouldn't even be talking about debt for nature swap. The debt for nature swap, if you really understand it, is really designed to sell these land, give them to rich people so they can enter the voluntary carbon trading market. Right, guys, we have to do better than this, Dwight. This is all a global construct. I mean, most people don't even understand it. Bless up, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is all a global construct.
Okay, we're going to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Yeah, man. He look like how you own your own things. I'm tired of paying the rent, man. Let's go.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your first good traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. All right, so as you've been hearing, there's been a change to the start time for the road works. It's going to start a little bit later to allow you with the morning commute to try to get through that area, but we don't know how it's going to look tomorrow. But so keep that in mind today. On Eastern Road, the paving works now expected to begin after 9 o'clock, so maybe 9:30 to 3:30 today. And this work is expected to continue through March 22nd. So it's going to be daily, 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. You're asked to avoid the area if possible and to acknowledge and comply with all posted traffic signs. Note the traffic will be guided through the work site. And delays they're hoping to minimize them. But that's beginning today on Eastern Road. This is between Johnson Road and Fox Hill Road. So keep that in mind. In your real-time traffic at this hour, we are indeed seeing heavy traffic on Eastern Road. Very heavy traffic from well east of San Souci straight up to just west of Johnson Road. And that is slow-moving traffic indeed. So keep that in mind this morning. And elsewhere, Prince Charles Drive is busy for you, especially the major intersections and near Elizabeth Estates and Beatrice Avenue on the way to Soldier Road. All that very busy for you. Bernard Road as well. So Robinson Road, slow-moving between Soldier and Old Trail. And then we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you from about St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive. Independence Drive is busy, especially westbound. And then we've got Tawny Williams Darling Highway at a number of spots near Bahamas Games Boulevard, the roundabout there, and especially at Milo Butler Highway, congestion there. And Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic this morning, well south of Bellet Road, straight actually from almost Hamster Road, straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning in the northbound lanes. Gladstone Road also busy for you from Fire Trail straight up to JFK Drive. Those are your hot spots right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean. 7:44, time for another check of weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a surface trough in the Gulf of Mexico. That's streaming moist, unstable weather across northwest Bahamas, while a ridge of high pressure lingers over the islands. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for cloudy to overcast conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavy and severe at times. Clouds and shower activity will diminish, though, through tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in sea swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, warm with isolated showers and thunderstorms possible in the central islands by this evening. Fair and mild with passing showers tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in sea swells. Temperatures today look for highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will weaken as it drifts eastwards ahead of a frontal boundary. Forecast to be in the vicinity of the northwest Bahamas by Friday. Meanwhile, beachgoers and small craft operators should continue to exercise caution in sea swells. So for Thursday, tomorrow, cloudy during the morning hours, becoming partly sunny and warm with isolated showers. Friday, partly sunny and warm with isolated showers. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Stuck in traffic, wasting expensive gas? Well, Easy Car Sales invites you to take a test drive in an electric vehicle today. Zero emissions, maximum excitement. Visit easy242.com today.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
If you're an onion lover, this one is for you. Wendy's is bringing layers and layers of flavor with the new crispy onion cheeseburger. Each layer brings you to a new dimension, from the savory mayo to the light crispy onions, followed by the rich caramelized onions on top of a fresh, never frozen beef patty. Try Wendy's new crispy onion cheeseburger and let us know which layer is your favorite. Available for a limited time.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, we're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Have you been? Hello, 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 Bahamas. Oh, 700 islands in the sun. It's been a long time since I was there. I miss your peaceful atmosphere. Hoping to see you shortly again. Soon as the Corona lockdown ends. Well, hello, 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 Bahamas. Hello, 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 how have you been? Hello, 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 Bahamas. Oh, 700 islands in the sun. The world hasn't changed, it changes before. These are the times, signs of time.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Chester Robards. And we're talking about what's in the news this morning, talking about local government as well. The government committing to do more and strengthen local government. So we're asking questions about it. This person says here, things get done big and small because local and central governments are competing for our votes. Where? They're going to bend over backwards to get back in office. You mean you're talking about in the future? That's what you mean? Right? I think you're right if that's what you mean. If we had a real functioning local government system, everybody would be working
extra hard.
Yeah, doing what they have to do. Mm-hmm. And then,
would
central
they
government.
want to do that?
Why would they want to work hard?
Yeah.
Boy, well. Anyway, I think most of these settlements should be separate litigation. What now? Oh, okay. I'm thinking, talk about local government still. Or you mean the court stuff. Okay. An acquittal doesn't necessarily mean a malicious prosecution. The little fella's acquitted every day. It's different, though. You know exactly what they're talking about. You know exactly what they're talking about. The government changed, and the people who came in decided to take legal proceedings. And it looked like, like a witch hunt, or that's what they're saying.
I mean, if the little guy wants to take his time to do it,
he could do that,
and
many have.
Yeah.
Many have as well. If you feel it was intentional and you had no just cause, you could do that. I mean, it's costly, but maybe they'll settle with you too. This person says, I just hope they are allowing delivery trucks. It's Eastern Road. They're talking about.
Oh.
Legal settlements. Right. We're all over the place today. I don't think we need local government. See, now, right? I think we need more. Oh, my God. Read that text.
I won't stop you in your tracks.
Read that one.
Okay.
And don't say we shouldn't read it. Read it. I just can't read it.
You can't. I don't think we need local government. I think we need more.
Read it, Chester.
I think we need more white Bahamians in government because I feel they are more effective. Take your Clay Sweeting and Ryan Pinder.
Wow.
What?
We don't need local government. We just
What?
need more white Bahamians. This is straight from the UBB's Twitter account, I'm sure. But there we have it, Bahamian people. There we have it. There we have it.
That's a troll. I can't.
Hmm?
Somebody doesn't exist with that mindset.
Oh?
Holy
I
smoke.
gotta frame that one.
You should. That belongs in the
Put this
Guardian Radio
on the studio wall,
Hall of Fame for
on the
text
wall.
messages.
I don't think we need local government. I think we need more white Bahamians in government because I feel they are more effective. Take your Clay Sweeting and Ryan Pinder. Get the darkies out.
Get them
and
out.
put the right there. I hear you. I hear you. People say things were better. Certain people say things were better before 67. Can we just play music till 10?
You could.
And we'll read it one more time.
Why?
I need everyone to hear it. I don't think we need local government. I think we need more white Bahamians in government because I feel they are more effective. Take Clay Sweeting or Ryan Pinder.
Interesting.
Now, the two are effective. They're good
yeah.
at what they're doing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. And then we won't need local government.
Spanish Wells is an effective little island.
We should move the capital there.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, boy. Okay. This person says here, they should pave Eastern Road during the Easter holiday. School will be out. How am I wrong? I hear you.
But then those checks that they got to cut for them workers.
Yeah, they want Easter off too. Probably.
My.
Wow, that text is just wrong, and I'm a white Bahamian. So you say, Dexter. So you say. But anyway, it is wrong. This person says here, the Bahamas and Bahamians are far behind in governance. Bahamians only vote and complain. Look at Charlotte, North Carolina. That has a highly effective government system. Local government, go online, look at the system. Everywhere across the U.S. and Canada and Australia and New Zealand and even India and China, England, everybody. I keep telling you to tell me where there is another country like this where central government manages the whole place that isn't just a city-state. Tell me where in the world the central government manages everything, especially in an archipelago. This is unheard of. It's unbelievable. Tell me where else that's not a dictatorship where they do this. Please, I'm waiting. I've been asking this for weeks. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan, and good morning, Mr. Robot.
Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Strachan, I think when you were speaking earlier, I think I heard your response to something about the government, if the government does not want to submit to local government. I think you said there are ways to make them do it. I think you went further to say that we should not be told by them what they're going to do, but we should tell them what to do. Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
Yes, absolutely. They work for us. We put them there to do what we want.
Yeah, I mean, only if we, do the necessary measures, because they're not going to do what we want if we sit back and say nothing.
Exactly.
All right, yeah. But, well, me personally, I'm not a real fan of local government because I don't really see it bringing any solutions, in my opinion. And furthermore,
now when you say that, you mean the current form of local government that we have, right?
I mean, let me finish up. I think you might understand me when I finish up. But because, in my opinion, some of the individuals who push in local government, in my opinion, they only want to be in a position of importance, because you don't really see them. Because if I want to represent, if I want to be an individual who wants to be a leader. And so I should be bringing forward ideas and new stuff. I shouldn't just want to say, but, put me here so you don't have to worry about your road getting paved. You know what I mean? Because that is what the MPs, the local MPs do now. You know what I mean? Really? They get credit when they fix the park and when they pave the road. So if they put individuals to do that, then where will they get their praise from? Where can they point to say, see what I do? I'm doing some work. You understand where I'm coming from? So they're not going to be for that. So in my opinion, local government won't bring any real solution, right?
So you're talking about the current system we have, not how local government works elsewhere in the world. That's what you're talking about, right?
But I'm not familiar with how it works elsewhere in the world. I know how things run in this country. And
You've traveled outside the Bahamas before, right?
Yeah, but wait a minute, though. But you're talking about bringing local government into a corrupt system, right? You're trying to, so we don't really see that generating any real progress because we understand how things work here, and we don't see individuals with the mindset to really force that change. Because, but like I say, I'm going to finish off right now, and because of that, see, I put forward this challenge. This is a challenge I bring forward. Then you see, because if you were saying that there are ways that we can make the government do these things, right? Then I put forward a challenge to those who want to be in local government. Show us, you know what I mean? Make the government. Show us that you can lead. Show us that you have that mindset and that sincere heart to lead, and you could bring forward that. Show us that, because then we might make you more than local government.
Who have you seen so far that has shown interest in local government?
Wait a minute. Let me finish. Show us.
But before, I need you to answer that though. Who have you seen who's shown interest in local government? Who are you talking about? Outside of what they have on the Family Islands.
There's a lady who has a song and all pushing it.
Yeah, she isn't pushing to be. I don't think she's pushing to become a local government.
But you asked me someone who's pushing for local government. I just told you.
She's encouraging Bahamians to be open to the concept and to push for our parliamentarians to. But she's not said that she's running for local government necessarily.
Yeah, okay, but I still don't really see how that question really is important for. But let me finish.
You brought it up though.
But I brought up the point that I said it was in my opinion. I feel as if that individuals who pushing it just want to be in importance because she is an individual who has actually run for a seat in government more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It's really unfair to pin this on one person.
No, but
we've got to go to the news though. But I need you to look at just look at it. Look at what happens in other functioning cities. What you're talking about, the MP is supposed to be a lawmaker. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Everything else shouldn't be on their lap. We'll pick this up after the news. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:25, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here is what's happening. We've got a surface trough in the Gulf of Mexico. That is streaming moist, unstable weather across the northwest Bahamas while a ridge of high pressure lingers over the islands. So beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents in east and northeasterly swells along Atlantic exposures, and there is a risk of flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas within the northwest Bahamas today. So for today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for cloudy to overcast conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavy and severe at times. Clouds and shower activity will diminish through tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in sea swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny and warm with isolated showers and a thunderstorm possible in the central islands. Fair and mild with passing showers tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in sea swells. We're looking at highs getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will weaken as it drifts eastwards ahead of a frontal boundary that's forecast to be near the northwest Bahamas by Friday, and beachgoers and small craft operators should continue to exercise caution in sea swells. So for Thursday tomorrow, cloudy during the morning hours, becoming partly sunny and warm with isolated showers. Friday, partly sunny and warm with isolated showers. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all of your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for another check of your traffic, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. Just a reminder about the work on Eastern Road that's going to get underway at 9:30 this morning to about 3:30. That's going to be daily, beginning today through March 22nd. That's the paving of Eastern Road between Johnson Road and Fox Hill Road. And so you want to avoid that area after 9 o'clock this morning. And for the rest of the day, only, there'll be posted signs. Follow the posted signs, but avoid the area if you can. In your real-time traffic right now, traffic is busy on Eastern Road from just east of Fox Hill to just west of Johnson Road if you're heading westbound, so keep that in mind. Elsewhere, we've got heavy traffic on Prince Charles Drive near Beatrice Avenue, straight through to Robinson Road as you approach the intersection with Marathon and East-West Highway. So that area is looking congested for you. Soldier Road issues in multiple spots near Windsor Place, near Old Trail, through that intersection with Prince Charles Drive. You're going to be seeing congestion there. And as you get north on the way to Bernard Wolf and Village Roads as well. Elsewhere, we've got Carmichael Road looking busy for you on the way to Blue Hill Road. That's eastbound. And Carmichael is busy again near Milo Butler Highway and Faith Avenue. That area looking congested. Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from well south of Bellet Road, straight through the roundabout with Fire Trail up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. That's northbound, and that's going to extend all the way up to the six-legged roundabout. And there you've got issues northbound, eastbound on JFK, and southbound on your Providence Highway. Fire Trail is backed up almost entirely between Gladstone and Milo Butler Highway. Gladstone Road also busy for you from Fire Trail straight up to JFK this morning. And West Bay Street near Saunders Beach, heavy traffic as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway if you're heading eastbound. And some building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. That's what we're looking at right now. That's your real-time traffic, and that's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean.
When it comes range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
At Simplified Lending, we've unscrambled the loan process, making it fast and hassle-free. Personal, business, medical. You apply, we'll reply in as little as 24 hours. Call us today at 603-1730 or stop by Simplified Lending in the R&D Plaza on JFK Drive. Simplified Lending for simplified living.
Simplified Lending for simplified living. Simplified Lending for simplified living.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
They say age ain't nothing but a number, but excuse me, I beg to differ. Ask the old man, the old woman, how they feeling. They may tell you of arthritis, of pain through and through. Oh, they'll tell you they can't do as they used to. Grandpa said when he was young.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. In just a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Dr. D. Archer about an upcoming health fair and expo. We'll get details about that and talk about health matters as well. And later in business, we're talking with the Petroleum Retailers Association. So a lot more to come. We just want to get back to what we were talking about before the break and again to some other things really quickly. So the caller before the break, too bad we ran out of time because we had to go to the news, but he said some interesting things. Listen, that's the point of democracy is an election, right? If you're not happy with the candidate, you vote for somebody else. Just because you think somebody running for office has ulterior motives or you don't think their motives are good, you don't have to vote for them. Hopefully there'll be somebody else running or you run against them, right? So if you have a challenge, that's perfect. It's fine. Express your dissatisfaction with them by voting for somebody else. We don't have the system. We don't have the system local government that would encourage what you're talking about right now, caller. And that's important to know. And I see people texting. People are talking about the country's too corrupt. I think I've said this before. The system is not encouraging the type of ingenuity and innovation that you're looking for. Right? We see that a lot of times already. People are out there in the community and they're making sense. But as soon as they get into a political party system, they fall right in line and tote the party line and say what the party says. But that, all the things they wrote about in books, if they wrote books, all the things they've said on talk shows years ago, you don't hear it anymore. So this type of system is stifling our people. And it's time to look elsewhere. The caller was saying he has traveled, but he, I guess, hasn't been paying attention. But trust me, the House representatives are not deciding very much on the direction of that city that you visited or the county. What they do, if there is a problem, you've got to go to the House, present a bill, and try to get a law made that would help the local officials deal with the thing that is a problem. That's what they're there for. If they're looking for fame, they shouldn't be in the House. They need to be a local government official, a mayor or a governor or something else.
That's where it's at.
So this system here is creating madness. And they're not focusing on the things they need to focus on, strengthening the laws.
But also he mentioned MPs and what they do for constituencies.
Yeah.
But they don't, first of all, they don't have enough allocation to do anything for any constituency. And, you know, they're given cabinet positions that they got to go focus on too. Everybody's got a cabinet position. So who's focusing on the community?
Exactly. And then that's being done again, it seems, to buy silence so that you don't have time to point out the inefficiencies of the administration of the government, right? So we have you on our team, and now you got to tote that line again. Whereas this system should have a very active backbench, right? Where the people in the cabinet, that should be a small number, a tiny number based compared to the number of people in the House. So we're doing everything wrong. The system is creating the problems, not the people. And if you all are very comfortable every day talking about our people are too corrupt, so what is the point then? What is the point of anything we're doing? Everybody's just a criminal? Or should be? You're comfortable with that. Everybody all around you, we're all just corrupt. So don't expect anything from the Bahamas. Really? And you're happy with that. You can go to sleep and you wake up tomorrow and do the same foolishness every day because, I got to do what I got to do, but the country's corrupt. It's you. You're the problem. You are the problem. Call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. The country is corrupt. This is the truth. But I'm saying you just can't accept it and like, oh, well. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, my good friend.
Good morning.
Everything's well?
Everything's good.
Just up.
Yes, sir.
Well, Dwight, let me put it in the context like this. The systems are only corrupt because the people are corrupt. We know of many changes that need to happen, but if the people don't correct the changes, then the system remains corrupt. So interchangeably, the two are existing together. Right now, as it stands, I was quite stunned still to hear 2 days ago that we still have members of parliament who have not declared their assets as prescribed by law. Mm-hmm. And by law, they should have already been fined or jailed or both. But yet, we talk about corrupt systems, but we got corrupt people in our systems. When is the justice part of this, where these persons are made to account because they are bounded by law? They should have already declared. This is now March. Okay? March. And they still haven't declared. What is the excuse for this? Mm-hmm. We have to fix the situation. But yet, in closing, you want the small man out here on the streets to abide by laws that were set by them in Parliament, but they are not living up to the same laws that was put in place for them to be governed. When are we going to fix this place? Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight and Chester.
Hi.
Morning.
Hey, Dwight, I promised myself not to call you on this because I notice you're a horse, but you could beat me up on this after I hang up. Okay. Something you said prompted me to call. Like I said, I promised not to call you on this. But if you Google China and its debt, I don't know if they take the site down yet, you'll see what they said about local government. Their debt, local government, they said, is one of the major contributors to their debt, simply because the local governors just keep coming back for more money. But that ain't my interest. My interest is something you said, which sparked me to call, is the fact that if everybody is corrupt. Here's the deal. Our government is a deleting government. So what could local government do, even if you have credible governors? You got to consider that. So what my opinion is, let's straighten out our government first. And you just said, is everybody corrupt? So if everybody's corrupt, what could like I said, a credible governance board do? Thank you, man.
Okay, so as I said earlier, you're not seeing the innovation and the out-of-the-box thinking that you would expect, especially for our far-flung islands, the family islands, right? You're not seeing that even with New Providence, right? We're not. Everybody's doing their own thing here. There is no structure. We got no plan, right? This is why downtown looks the way it does as well. And Freeport has the same issue, even though they have the Port Authority. This is the challenge. If you look around, look at other countries. The local officials are the ones pushing the innovation in cities and in counties and in states, provinces, whatever you call them, right? Mm-hmm. They're doing different things because they know they need to stand out compared to other districts in their own country and, of course, in other parts of the world. We aren't seeing that here because the central government has a lot to do. They are very busy dealing with all manner of things, gigantic things and little tiny silly things too. This is stifling growth and development everywhere in the country. It really is. And so people with ideas are not getting into this because they feel they have to join a party and maneuver through bureaucracy within parties and then get to a cabinet that is focused on other things and not necessarily going to be interested in the thing that you were talking about because we got big things to deal with, right? So you can look around and see it. Nassau is wherever you want. Just plop it down and do your own thing. And that is, it seems, with few exceptions, the case with many of our settlements. The China thing that you're talking about, I don't know, but I mean that's an interesting example that you would use. I mean, let's look at democracies and see how local government is working all over the world, and the less reliance on the central government. They really only go back for big issues. gigantic disasters or some major infrastructure work where the federal government has to step in to help. Not everything, not any and every little thing. Handle this on a community level. But people are afraid of relinquishing the power. Yes, absolutely, because they won't need you for all these things. But you got to show yourself in other ways, right? We're going to fix the laws that are creating challenges for the rest of you, and people will appreciate you for that. But we don't think that's how it works here. Wait, let's take one more call on this, and we got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Strong. This is me calling back, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But I didn't finish making my point. But just now you were talking about we are not seeing these new innovations and different type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so where are these individuals? Where are these innovators? Because if you're talking about these things, but do they have to wait until they have become local governors before we can see these things magically appear?
Until we have the system. Until we have a system that will encourage them to want to get involved at this level.
No, okay, but you say, but see, you're talking.
But I mean, you are seeing some of this already. There are community leaders out there doing some things.
I think you get my point. Mr. Strong. My point is that if you have individuals who want to be, who are pushing local government right now, right? What I'm saying is that you're saying we're not seeing the reason why we're not seeing these innovation, etc. What I'm trying to say is that it sounds like the same kind of mentality that politicians have. Elect me, and when you put me there, you will see results. That's what it sounds like, because if you have ideas, unless your idea is something that's personal to you, you should be able to present your idea publicly if it's something that's going to benefit all of us, if it's something that you want to put in place. You should be able to present your case to us. The central government cannot prevent you from presenting your ideas to us. But my point, what I wanted to make before the time ran out, right, is that if they want to run for government and representation, right, then they should be able to show that they are qualified and they deserve it. Because if we want Freedom of Information Act, one that is not watered down, right? If we want our MPs to declare, right? If we want an ombudsman with the word corruption in the act, right? If we want all these things, right? And you all hear us crying for these things, right? Where are those individuals who want to represent and change this country, who want to show us a new way? When you said yourself that there are ways that exist for them to push the government's hand, my point is that if I want to put a challenge to those who push in local government, show us. If there are ways, then show us that the power is with us. Show us how we can make them do differently. You know what I mean? Because there ain't no way in the world you expect us to say, want to put a middleman in between to get things done that's already been done by someone else.
Is it being done?
You understand where I come from? We don't want to pay money out for no results anymore. All right? We want to see people who have a sincere desire to change this country. And if you have a sincere desire to change this country, you don't have to be in leadership to do it. What you need to have is you need to have solutions to the problems that we face. You understand? And you don't need leadership to present that to the people. All right? But like I said, my challenge to those who out there who want to run for local government, if there are ways to make a difference or if there are ways to make the government change and do as we say, then show us. Because if you can't show us, then we ain't got no time for you, man. Because you is the same old. That's all I'm trying to say. All right?
Interesting. Don't go yet. I mean, I don't have much time because I need to move on to our guests. But I really appreciate your call. I appreciate what you're saying. And I don't disagree with you on that part there. We really do need the people who have those, who are thinking like that, to come out and to talk more about why this would make a difference. So that is a very valid point. Let me just ask you, where have you been in the world? Where have you traveled? Couple places. Maybe your favorite city out that you've been to. Is he gone? He left. Oh, man. Anyway, hopefully we'll talk again soon. Yeah, is this a different call? Okay. Hi. Good morning, caller.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Great. Listen, one of the problems that we have inside this country is that we're dealing with lawyers who know how to get by with systems, which means a lot of times when businesses and things are being set up, and I want you all to hear me, I'm not accusing anyone, I'm using this as a general statement. When these things are being set up, they are having companies made so they can go ahead and oust out some of these government projects, the companies that they helped to create, or their friends or whoever helped to create. And there's a group of people in this country who have done that over the years, and that's why they're so wealthy. Why do you think they're leaving their law firms, leaving their doctor's office, leaving all these so-called successful areas to come into politics? Because they know when they borrow $250, $260 million, they are able to either get a cut or cut a deal where they get some percentage, or their family member or somebody gets some kind of percentage. And so they're even making laws to make sure these things are done right.
Okay.
So, yeah, some will get caught and some won't. Some of them inside Parliament know just how to cover things up very well. So when you see they ousting some of these Bahamian companies and saying that they're not making profit and this, that, and the other, most of the time it's because they're trying to create another company so they themselves can make money.
Wow.
But I say to the Bahamian people, we need to get out there and protest and make sure that this deal with BPL does not go through. Thank you.
Well, how did you get to that one there? Okay. Boy. My goodness. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to change gears. A lot more to talk about on this Wednesday morning. Our 2,998th show, Chester Robards, getting set for 3,000 on Friday.
All right.
We'll be back. Stay with us.
Big day.
Drums start to play and the cowbells ring. Oh Lord, that's the sweetest feeling. If you're losing control, cause the rhythm in your soul, that's junkanoo. That's junkanoo. If you should be in bed, but you're on Bay Street instead, that's junkanoo. That's junkanoo. Even if you're ill, you can't keep still. Make you go insane. You dance in the rain. Oh yes. Oh, yeah. Can you feel it? Junkanoo got me going crazy.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we are getting the details about an upcoming health fair. The Health is Wealth Expo and Fair set for March 30th. Joining us, we are very pleased to have back with us a familiar voice to Guardian Radio listeners, Dr. Denotra Archer Cartwright. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Thank you for having me.
People message us all the time, say they miss you and the show.
Wow, yes.
But anyway, good to have you on with us once in a while.
Yeah, they stopped me too, Dwight. They're like, when are you going back? I said, I'm not sure.
Well, whenever you're ready.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get to the health fair, this is the first one that you're doing, yeah?
Yes.
All right, before we get to that, let's talk about health in general in the Bahamas. We've had a little theme this week here. Every day we've had a doctor on. But we've got a lot of issues.
Right.
Let's talk about, from your perspective, you practice family medicine.
Yeah,
right?
so for those of you who don't know, I am a family medicine specialist. Let me get
a little
closer.
closer to that
Sometimes
mic.
I get a little soft on the radio. But I'm a family medicine specialist, and people always say, well, what's the difference between that and a GP? So we do an additional 4 years, and our focus is really preventative health. And the government invested a lot in making sure that we had family physicians in the country. It was kind of like a new specialty. Most countries felt like they needed a bit more on the primary care aspect, in order to achieve the things they wanted to achieve. So that's really what the primary doctors were here to do. So big focus on prevention and big focus on patient-centered care, which is a different model of care. The old model of care is very doctor-centered. You come in, the doctor say, take this pill, you go and you come back.
Right.
Patient-centered care really is more of a holistic style, and that's kind of like why I'm doing the expo too. But it's moving from just doing those ABC checklists and getting the patient involved in their healthcare, because that is the most important part, and that really helps with outcomes, with compliance and people adhering to what they do. They have to buy in, right?
Is that a challenge here?
That is a challenge.
Why?
Here.
Why is that?
For a lot of different reasons. When I was doing my family medicine specialty, we actually did a study on this, looking at compliance in patients. So we were very tricky. We got a standardized questionnaire where we ask you pretty much the same question multiple ways. And what we got was different answers, right? So patients come in, they say, oh, I'm taking my medication, I'm doing this. No, they're not. There's a lot of different things with that. People don't want to be on medication. Time limits, financial, social, and this is why health needs to be a holistic thing, because there's so many things that contribute to how a person responds to healthcare and treatment, even where you are in life. Like if you look at the hierarchies of where people are in life, if you're not at that self-achieving phase, it's very hard to just focus on things like healthcare when you're in survival mode. So economics, social standings, the environment all play a role. And culturally, as Bahamians, we're laid back with everything.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, oh, your blood pressure's high. Yeah, I don't receive it. I'm just going to go and do my thing, and I'm going to come back. And so you really have to have
that could work.
a good relationship with your physician to not only want to tell the truth, all of the truth, to get that connection so that people understand on their level why they need to do certain things. And then we really don't have a lot of primary care embedded in our healthcare system, because we really should be starting from very young ages, like children. It should be like a multidisciplinary approach that should be all through the school systems, every stage of your life. You should kind of be guided on what is a healthy way of living. If you look at some of the Northern European countries, they live a very healthy life a lot of times. They walk a lot. They do a lot of things that would contribute to them being leaner and fitter, and even the diet and stuff. So culture also plays a really big role. So there's a lot of things to fix, because we are one of those countries that has a lot of chronic disease. And it's really killing Bahamians, and you're watching it. People come in all the time. Doc, what's up with all these people that are dropping down and stuff like that? And so people usually don't focus on their health until they have a major issue, which is a problem.
Yeah. Right.
And it's costly, right? So this is why we can't get out of this hole in terms of health, because the cost of health is escalating, because people are coming in after they've had a stroke, after they've had a heart attack, after they already have kidney disease, or they're on multiple medications. And if we can just start catching these people earlier, we won't have this heavy burden of disease. And that's really the point of why I do a lot of patient education. I started really educating the doctors, doing CMEs. We do as doctors like continuing medical education. But I'm like, okay, we're educating the doctors. we need to educate the patients.
Right.
And so with the show, with Guardian and all of that, all of that came out of that.
So are you seeing changes, or are you nudging the needle any bit?
A little bit. I think we're nudging it a little bit. We need a lot more. We need a more concentrated effort. With my patients, a lot of people come to me because they already know that I'm not like pill happy. So I try to keep the pill burden extremely low because thank God we have modern medications. But the goal is not to be on modern medication, but to try to see if we can live a lifestyle where we don't require modern medication. And if we do have it, then that's great. So I try to keep the pill burden pretty low. I do a lot of care management for people who are already there, who are diabetics, who may not be controlled, so getting them controlled. All of these things kind of decrease the risk of them having the complications of these diseases. But the patient that I really love are my young patients. No, I love all my patients, old, young, they're all great. But I like the patient that's young, there's not really anything wrong, or they just want to optimize their life, because this is a patient that you have an opportunity to keep them out of the tertiary healthcare system. All right? So if I can just have you come once a year for your annual, and that is the most cost-effective way also for the patient, because when you're sick, you got to come out of pocket for money. If you need a stent or you need something in your heart or you need to do a surgery, those things can be very, very costly. And so
when you say young, what are you talking about?
Young as possible. So you should come, you start off with pediatrics. So as a family physician, we see kids too. So it's great to see the kids because you get to educate the kids. And when you get to educate the kids, you get to also educate the parents. So you find that people will come in and say, oh, my kid is overweight or whatever. What are you feeding this kid? You get to educate both the parent and the child. And then the children are very intelligent. They start picking up that, hey, maybe this is not so-and-so. Well, I can't get them to eat certain things, Dr. Archer. They do well when they're in the clinic. They understand and they realize maybe I do need to eat my vegetables. I do need to do a little bit of this or that and stuff. And then sometimes, you have to let the patients know that you can't give kids whatever they want. Right? So
you gotta
being able
find a way to keep them
educate-
quiet, though. Right? So,
But why do you want to keep them quiet?
Why do you want to do that?
Because that's the other thing too. So the way I bring up my kids is it's they have structure and stuff, but I try to let them to be who they want to be.
Right.
I believe that we do dumb down kids a lot because their mind is so imaginative. They're such an open sponge, and we kill some of that. Be quiet, sit down. Kids really shouldn't be that quiet. They should be expressing themselves. They should be doing it, and we should just do that and lead them into productive ways of doing that. That's a better way.
Okay, wonderful stuff. All right, so where the idea from? I guess you explained that, but how this brought the expo about?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about it for a while. I used to work for the government, and I couldn't really get all the stuff I wanted done. So now I'm completely in private care. I said, I want to do something. I want to really get people involved. I want an interactive experience because it's experiences that really change people, not just lecturing at them or throwing little bits and pieces,
right?
But something that they can see and feel. So health is wealth is based on the holistic concept that there are multiple strains of things that not just lead you to health, but wellness, the concept of wellness, and fundamentally looking at all those areas that relate to that, economics, social, physical health, mental health, educational, all these different things, and they have to be combined. So I wanted to bring it all together in one place. We're starting with just a day because people are like, is this multiple days? Well, no. I like to say it's free for everyone that registers. So there's no cost to the general public. We wanted to have no limitations or reasons why you don't come out. All right. So what we do is we're going to have some free workshops. So you can sign up starting next week on our website, MCS, familymedicine.com. Geez, I'm forgetting my own website now. I'll come back to it.
Happens.
But you sign up, and we're going to have some free workshops. We're going to have like an early morning trainer that's going to come in and talk about exercise for weight loss. We're going to have sessions on nutrition. We're going to have also a backyard farming segment.
Wow.
Okay.
And we're going to have a segment in the evening for the kids, so a healthy kids workshop. On the expo floor, different companies and health professionals are going to be there. We're going to be doing, my company is sponsoring actually health checks, so we'll do free health checks. So if you need your blood pressure checked, you want to come in and just kind of see where you are, we're going to take care of that. And then we partnered with a few other companies. So it's medical concierge services. And then we have New Life who's coming in there as well. We've got a physiotherapist that's going to be there. Someone's going to be doing ultrasounds, Just Juice. So if you want to try some wellness shots, they'll be giving out some wellness shots. So we have a variety of different people, and some other people are still onboarding. So you can check us out. And if you still want to be involved, we have a couple of spots left. And then through the day, we'll also be having discussions on the floor. So it should be really, really cool, really interactive, and we'll have more information coming out. And registration starts next week, Monday.
Next week, Monday. All right. And give us the dates again, the date and the times and location.
All right. So it's going to be at Bahamas. It's going to be the 30th of March. And to register and find out more, you want to go to mcsfamilymedicine.com, or you can actually call my office 326-1521 if you want to find out more information. But the registration starts on Monday, and it's going to be free. And so you can check also our pages, Medical Concierge Services. We're on Facebook and Instagram. You can check out those as well. And we should have more information going through as we onboard a couple of sponsors. So shout out to New Life. They jumped on board right away. They really wanted to be a part of making this free for the public. And so we just want to have an interactive time, bring the kids, let them realize that they should be checking for their health. And Dr. Knowles, Sean Knowles is going to be joining me in the evening. We're going to do like a Doctors In segment right at the end, where we're going to talk about mental health, because, mental health is one of those problems that we're facing in this country. And we have to talk about it because it's something that Bahamians don't usually talk about, but it is definitely affecting the country, especially all this post-COVID, depression, anxiety, and then the financial stuff.
It's a lot that we're dealing with.
It's definitely a lot.
And you're hoping this is going to become an annual event?
I'm hoping it's going to be an annual, so I hope you guys like it. But we've gotten a lot of good feedback. People are interested in coming out. We're expecting over 500 people minimum, and maybe up to about 1,000. So that's why we really want to stream it through the registration, so it's not kind of crazy, but everyone can come in and basically, get their health check, talk to maybe a doctor. The Foot RX team should be there as well. Just spoke with Dr. Danny Johnson. So, it should be a great time.
This is going to be great. And at Bahamas, you're doing it fancy.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. No. Well, I wanted it to be a really good experience for everybody because, we do things like not to say I don't like to be outside or whatever like that, but I wanted it to be really nice. So I wanted it to be a really great experience. I kind of love Bahamas. I don't know why. But
it's a nice place.
And I like to be, I go to a lot of expos, and this is kind of like one of the issues I had, kind of trying to get some of the bigger companies on board. They're like, what are you doing, Dr. Archer, right? But I go to expos. So me and my husband, we go to expos in the United States and different places. And this is what they do. Like when they want to bring together the leading innovative aspects of a particular, genre or a thing, they do expos. And, these things are organized, they're discussions, and they happen every year, and people get involved. And so sometimes it's hard pushing new concepts. People just used to the regular kind of health fair. You go somewhere and you do a couple of health checks and you kind of leave. But I wanted people to know that there's more to it. And I think the more that we make health interactive, the more people will want to get involved. And sometimes you need to help people connect the dots, So they've been living like a particular lifestyle for a very long time. It's not easy for people to change their habits. It takes about 7 layers in order for people to really get a concept.
Wow.
So you've got to keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely. So one more time, let people know where this is and how to reach you.
Right. So it's going to be at Bahamas. It's the 30th of March. It's a Saturday. That's the holiday weekend. So if you're not out of town, please come on down between the hours of 9 and 4. You can reach me at mcsfamilymedicine.com. That's where the registration will start on Monday. And if you want to reach me, 326-1521 for more information.
Okay. Wonderful stuff.
Cool, good stuff. Yeah.
Dr. D. Archie Cartwright, always a pleasure. Thank you. Good
Thank you
hearing
so
your
much,
voice
Mike.
again. Good
yes,
seeing you.
Always great to be here.
And hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Again, it's the Health is Wealth Expo and Fair, March 30th. We're going to take a break for news and be back with business here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
You know I was legal when I come to you. You gave me food, clothes, and protection too. You said don't worry about a thing, just show your loyalty. It's the comfort that we'll bring. When I look around, I got papers and passport waiting on my visa. I don't want to be straight. Boss lady tell me send for family. She can clean me out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we're talking with the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association. They are still hoping to get the government to come to where they are at in negotiating some changes with their arrangements as it relates to fuel. And they've even sent a formal letter to the Prime Minister requesting a meeting. We're going to get updates on where things stand this morning. Right now we've got Vice President Vasco Bastian in the studio with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester. Good
morning.
Morning, the Bahamian people listening.
We've been here a long time.
Been here for 2 years.
My goodness.
2 years at this.
Mm-hmm.
The more we move forward, I guess, the more we move back. But we've been at this for 2 years. Hoping and praying that we would had some changes to our margin. We're still hopeful. I'm still hopeful. Mm-hmm. We sent a formal letter last week. Was it this week? Last week, Monday, I think it is, to the Prime Minister, hoping that we get an audience with him.
Have you heard anything?
We haven't heard anything to date.
Any confirmation that they received the letter?
Still waiting on that as well.
That. Wow.
I just asked the President about that yesterday. If we heard anything, because he had pinned the letter and we had it formally dropped off. One was sent to the Prime Minister, one was also sent to the Deputy Prime Minister, one was also sent to the Minister of Economic Affairs, Mr. Michael Akitas, and one was also sent to the Financial Secretary, Mr. Simon Wilson. So we wanted to make sure that everybody with that level of influence or who can make things happen had a copy of the letter. And so we're still there. We're there. That's where we are now.
Okay, so let people know what you are asking for at this point. So you have something in mind, not just
Dwight, we are asking for a margin increase. We are asking for about 25 cents to 30 cents on the existing margin. The margin currently stands at 54 cents. That margin has been in place for the last 12, going on 13 years now. And so, as a result of the high cost of operation in regards to salaries, in regards to electricity, in regards to, I think, since we last got an increase, Dwight, minimum wage has gone up about 3 times. If my memory serves me correctly, I sit to be corrected. National insurance contributions have gone up significantly. BPL has gone up significantly. I always want to get this point in. Gas stations in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is one of the few entities that are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. I think it's gas stations, hospitals, and hotels are probably the top 3. And when you pull up to a gas station as a customer, you expect those owners and operators of those gas stations to provide you with that gasoline for your vehicle or that diesel for your heavy equipment or for your truck. You also expect for certain items to be inside those convenience stores that you've come to love and accept. So all we are saying, and we've been saying for the last 2 years, our operational costs and our costs to run these gas stations continue to rise, and they've been rising significantly. We want to be able to continue to operate at a certain level. We want to, as business owners in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, who've invested minimum $350,000 to $450,000 to start these operations, but we want to make a profit. As Bahamians, we want to make a profit. The government of the Bahamas, be it the present government or the former government, always promote entrepreneurship. The more entrepreneurs that we have, the more that we're less dependent on government. So here you have this particular industry, the petroleum industry, headed by black Bahamians, white Bahamians, PLP Bahamians, F&M Bahamians, DNA Bahamians, who are agitating and lobbying and asking the government of the day that we need 25 cents or 22 cents or 30 cents in order for us to stay in business. We allow foreign investors to come into the country. We give them land, we give them exemptions, we give them all kinds of things. But here we are, honest Bahamians, hardworking Bahamians, trying to survive in an industry that's heavily regulated by the government of the Bahamas. And when I say government of the Bahamas, whoever the government is. I'm not one to get political, and I will not get political. But we are Bahamians who deserve a right to survive and live and prosper in our own country. I don't want to live in the United States. I don't want to live in Europe. I don't want to go to South America. I don't want to go to the Middle East to live. I am a businessman who represent men and women in the petroleum industry who have invested in the economy of the Bahamas. We deserve to make a profit. We deserve to live and do well in the Bahamas. If I can't make it in the Bahamas, in gas station, business, whatever other business I decide to invest in, where else should I go? We've been asking for 2 years. For 2 years. 2 years? For 25 cents? Come on, my God. 2 years. Please, man. Anybody who's listening, if you see the Prime Minister today, if you see Michael Alcides, if you see Simon Wilson, if you see I. Chester Cooper, tell them Vasco, Stanford, George, Michael Phillip, Cleophas, Arlington, Lawrence, Bastian. Say, help us.
Wow, it's a lot.
Say, help us. We need help.
Yeah. All right, we've got the President Raymond Jones joining us now. Welcome to the show, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, so Vasco Bastian making a great case. We understand the pain. You outlined everything. Yes, costs have gone up for everybody. But what do you say to consumers who are looking in Guardian Business today and they see this gas tracker and the prices are from $5.38 to $5.61 per gallon, and they're like, I cannot imagine 25 to 30 more cents on a gallon of gas.
Right.
You all must be out of your mind.
Right.
What do you say to those
I would
people?
have my president, who's here,
Yes.
Mr. Raymond Jones.
Mr. Jones.
He's going to address that.
Answer that question.
He's going to break it down.
Because people are going to say
address
you all can't be serious if you're going to try to push gas up to nearly $6. What do you say to that person?
Well, I'll
Talk
say
right
this,
to that mic
and,
first.
And good morning to all our listeners. First of all, it's important for everyone to know that despite or whatever the price of fuel is, $5, $6, $7 as it was a year ago, we still only get 54 cents a gallon, right? And as Mr. Bastian spoke earlier and talked about the rising costs of electricity, minimum wage and all that, we're still at 54 cents. That continues to be eroded. It sounds like a lot, 25 cents on 54 cents. But at the end of the day, remember, when you go and you swipe at the gas station and pay with a credit card, the bank fees on that credit card works out to 15 cents a gallon. So we support digitalization and all that. And it cuts down our costs by depositing cash at the bank. But the problem is when you come for that efficient service, we're trying to make some money out of this. We're investors and entrepreneurs in the Bahamas. And the current operating environment with the costs is eroding the margin that we were given. I'm always saying to the government, and for the public to understand, we just want to make some money on the investment we put in these stations and the lives that have been committed to it over the years. Some people have been in this business with their families for 50, 60 years, right? They just want to get a return. So when you look at the 25 cents or whatever we end up negotiating with the government, and I think the government supports and understands this because they've said, we understand your plight.
Right.
They've given us some support before, but it was a one-time only thing. We want to get something that will actually cover this negative, this red ink that we have now. We can't walk away. But if we had the money, we'd walk away because it doesn't make sense to work and can't get anything out of it. But we're committed to stay the course to get it done.
Yeah.
And 25 cents a gallon or 20 cents a gallon, whatever the number is that the government eventually approves, to the average motoring public, that's about $3 to $5 more a week, maybe. If you go into food stores and you see what happens with the cost of different things, other retailers, other wholesalers have the ability, without price control, to just adjust their margin to reflect their reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, our reality is we have to wait 11, 12 years to get an adjustment to catch up with the rising costs. And that's the issue, and I know Vasco mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
We don't have the free power to just adjust the margin. We don't want the public to pay an exorbitant amount for gas because that affects our volumes. We want them to continue to drive and enjoy it and all that. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to deliver a first-class service, full service. In the Bahamas, you go to other countries, you pull up at the pump, you got to serve yourself. That's not what we've done in the Bahamas over time. We provided full service, and we want to stay committed to providing full service. But we want to be able to pay our employees, pay our insurance. Security costs, the situation in Nassau compared to other islands is different, so you have higher security costs. Just yesterday, a young man pulled up at my station in a BMW, and the attendant told him, please go to the next side because your tank is on the other side. And he went to the next side, and the guy said, listen, why are you telling me to come on the next side? He said, you pull up at the wrong side of the pump.
Right.
And something ensued, and the young man was seen running away from the car. What happened? The customer pulled a gun on him and said, listen, just serve my gas.
Oh, wow.
You know? So these are the things that we're faced with, but at the end of the day, we're still there to provide a committed, reliable service to the customers.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so
but let me just add some more,
Yeah.
right? When you look at the increase in minimum wage, and the government, we support the people need to make more money because of the rising costs. We're faced with the same rising costs. All we're saying is you did it for them because you see their dire strait in not being able to afford to go to the grocery store, to pay for food, to pay for rent. Landlords have to raise their rent, the insurance costs are going up, the operating costs are going up. All these things are inherently part of the economic cycle.
Exactly.
So what we need to do, and what we're asking the government and begging the government to do is consider us as you have done with those people and give us a price adjustment on our margin that allows us to reflect that cost and the reality of our situation today. We're not asking for every year you got to do this, or we got to commit for 2 years and then you got to do it again. We're saying this is the reality of now that we need to make a decision on now. and we implore them to sit with us. We thought we met a year ago and we thought we had an arrangement that didn't pan out. We agreed with what they proposed. We accepted it and we said, okay, fine. And the government made a statement that, listen, we can't do it this time. We understand the price goes too high. You don't want to take an adjustment at that point.
Right.
But the reality is no one in the country can determine the cost of fuel coming into the country. It's a global factor. So we're saying to them, you know, when the prices dropped before, that was the time to put it in. The public will see a dip. They may see a small increase. But at the end of the day, whether the price goes up or down, we can't control it.
Exactly.
We just want a livable wage out of the margin that we get on the fuel.
Could you not make this up in the C-store, in the convenience stores, raise the prices there? Would that not do something?
No,
Would that
no,
not help?
right? No. Because the wholesalers who provide us with the items that we sell in the food store, their costs have risen in the last 12 years multiple times. You said something earlier when you look at the price of fuel as of today in the Guardian. Rubus price, Esso price, Shell price. The government of the Bahamas gets about $1.75, nearly $1.80. So when you pull up to the pump and you see the price of that fuel on the dispensers displayed there, the owner and the operator of that particular site, be it a Shell site, be it a Rubus site, or be it an Esso site, the government gets $1.80, but $1.80. The owner of that site gets about 54 cents, which is the same margin that we're lobbying for now.
On gasoline.
On gasoline.
And diesel is 34 cents.
Exactly. And then the wholesaler gets another 34 cents. And then the landing cost. And then also government also, as a part of that $1.70, $1.80 the government get, that's also VAT inside of that.
Right.
You know, so at the end of the day, the government have to make their taxes, the government have to get paid, but the government is making more money than the dealers. But we're not even here to discuss that. What we want the public to know is the fact that as a Bahamian investor in this economy, for the last 12 years, going on to 13 years, we haven't gotten a margin increase. So a child who was born 12 years ago, who's graduating this June, or who was graduated last June going to grade 7, that was the last time that we got a margin increase. The discussions with the government, someone who was born 2 years ago, who was 0 when he was born, who's now 2 years old now, in kindergarten and nursery. That was the last time we opened discussions or something, or we're lobbying for this.
Is this a model, this relationship that you have with the government, is this a model that's used elsewhere around the world?
All around the world, there's excess taxes on, they call it a road tax on fuel.
Right.
But this current model has been outdated globally. A lot of countries around the world have changed.
They've been the free market economics.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you go into the U.S., you see 4 stations on different corners.
Right.
And people are switching their prices constantly to attract the customers. Right? We're not advocating that per se, because the government wants to have some control over the price that the consumer bears. Understood. But you have to build in the mechanism to allow us to survive also.
Exactly.
That's all we're asking for. I mean, yes, if they want to open up and let everybody price it out competitively, that's an option to do. That's what most people do with different things. You go in the food store, you can either go to super value or extra value or quality, and you can pay what you're going to pay.
Right.
And when people learn that something is cheaper, they go the other place. And you talked about the convenience stores.
Right.
It's the convenience stores. We can't match the buying power or the size and scale of a major well, not just super value, but budget of a major store, right? So when they walk in there, they're already expecting to pay a little bit more, but only so much they will pay.
Right.
You know, we have people at the station. Our water is probably 25 cents cheaper. Sorry, 25 cents more than the liquor store across the street. For them, the guy making $260 a week, he's adding it up. How much water I have to buy? We give them a water cooler to reduce that cost. But when they got to go buy it, they're looking for the best value they can find within reason. The consumer, the economy has a face of what it looks like booming. But the average guy out there still saying, hey, it's costly to be out here. It's costly to operate and actually survive. So we're trying to match that to survive, to keep those employees, which we have a significant number throughout the country, employed, providing a service for the motoring public.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If we stopped or curtail hours to try to cut our costs, it's sort of cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Exactly.
Because we reduce volumes, we impact the customer, we save a little bit of money, but it's not as impactful in providing the service 24 hours a day and getting a margin that allows us to make money.
Right. And we don't want to, and Dwight, we don't want to close stations down.
No, that's not the model.
That's not, we don't want to close stations down. And, like I said earlier, people come to the gas station expecting us to have gas. But for the last 12 years, the rising cost is preventing that. I mean, think about it, Dwight. You work for the Guardian Radio for 12 years, and you start off at $100. It's
actually true.
But
okay.
See?
And you make the same money.
Imagine you're still making the same money.
Wow.
Electricity has gone up. Security has doubled. Come on. And so all we're saying is let us survive. We're asking those who are responsible. This could go away, like Mr. Jones just said. Well, let's do away with the margin then. Let us work it out among ourselves.
But the next thing to look at, right? I'm talking about if you're getting the same money. That's why unions, the government, the public service, and everybody else is
Unions
saying,
got paid,
hey,
Mr. President.
We have to make an adjustment for cost of living.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? We're asking nothing more than that. Give us an adjustment that reflects the rising cost to operate in this business and the cost of doing business.
Caller, we'll get to you in just a second. All right, so it's been suggested before, I think, Vasquez, the last time you were here, that, okay, why not then charge for some of the other services you have? Water, air, and then maybe that'll make it more reliable too. But what about that? Could you do that?
That's an extra cost to put somebody there to sell water when somebody decides to come for water in the car.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that it's a loss leader. You don't charge for that. If someone's going to pull up at the pump, they want to get some air for their vehicle. It's a service we provide. Some people have tried putting in a coin mechanism. I bypass them. It's costly to put it in. And if it doesn't work, they're even more upset.
And the story about the air. Very few gas stations provide air now. There's a couple of them provided because some members of the general public, not all, will come and steal the chuck.
Oh, gosh.
And so every week you're changing chuck for about $80. The chuck might cost about $5 or $6, but the subcontractor who has that business that comes and changes those chuck and do whatever, he charge you $60 to $70. It's all a problem per chuck, per call. I mean, you drive off. You have customers who come and drive off. They should turn off their phone or shouldn't be on their phone at the pump. They're on their phone. They take a call. The nozzle is in the car. They drive. That's $160.
What? That's happening?
That's every day.
I had 4 in the last 6 days.
No way.
Seriously?
That happens that often?
Yeah. People at the pump, the attendant serving them.
Yeah.
He walks away to connect somebody else up.
And they
comes
drive
back
off.
to the car and go to take the nozzle.
Talk right into the mic there, Mr. Jones.
Sorry, the guy drives off with the nozzle in the car.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, luckily, the way the system is today, you have a breakaway that connects, that shuts off the fuel flow from the dispenser to the nozzle.
Right.
Thank God for that. But the difference is it happens every day. People are just careless.
And that causes damage as well to the...
Well, like I said, $160, it's $80 just for that piece. You got to bring someone in to make the connection again.
My goodness gracious.
Right? Now, sometimes it's happened, the attendant is standing there, putting in gas in the vehicle, and the person just drives off thinking, he should be finished by now. Without looking, they drive off.
But these customers don't end up paying for that damage they cause?
If we get them...
They're gone. They drive off. Somebody brought a nozzle back because he drove off and the attendant's running behind him saying, hey, and he's like, he came back and said,
let me tell you something.
This belongs to you.
Oh, my goodness.
I think between me and the president, we could write a book. We could do a reality show on the daily experiences when it comes to stuff like stealing the chuck, driving off with the nozzle, people parking their cars on the property and going to the regattas and the family islands, and when they come back, the car is towed. They want to fight you. The profanity that's used at our employees daily will blow your mind. I mean, this is not, I love what I do. And Mr. Jones, the president, loves what we do. This is not an easy business. The climate in the country has changed. Retail business, retail gasoline service has changed. But and there's so many different things that's changed. And if we didn't need 25 cents before, we sure do need it now.
Can we get this call and then we get to you, Chester? Remember your question. Don't forget.
I'll try to remember.
Okay, sure. You want to write it down? Caller, good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah. Dwight. Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Okay. Morning again, yes. Thank you. to your guest, right? Now, I want him to explain something. When he said between us, now, when I was going to school, I used to wait to the gas station when I come from school, getting off 9, 10 o'clock in the night, right? And what I've noticed nowadays, you can't get which and I catch the jitney nowadays that I cannot see, and I catch the jitney a lot. They doesn't have any air, they doesn't have any water, they doesn't patch tires anymore. So tell me, what, and this 25 cents what you all asking for, right? That's going to come right down to the consumers, the people who doesn't drive cars and stuff like that. So my point is, who you call when you say between us? Who do you mean when you say between us?
Well, let me just.
Hello?
Okay, they're getting an answer right now. Thanks a lot.
So when you talk about the water and like Mr. Sebastian was just saying, and the air, we have vandalism. People come and cut off the nozzle to the air. Water, same thing. They take the tip off. They let the water run. So we try to make sure have that available because our customers, we appreciate them when they come for service. We want to make sure we have that. We don't do full service tire repair because there are a lot of other entrepreneurs who provide a better service, full service at a better price than we could do as an ancillary to our business. Our business is serving fuel to our customers. So it sounds attractive to do a tire shop, but the tire shops are there providing tire repairs, patching, replacing sales of new tires as well.
Yeah. Okay, Chester, before we get back to these calls. Mm-hmm.
No, I wanted to make a comment, but also I don't know if you could think of another kind of business where the government has such control over your future and your earnings.
Well, you remember, I think it was a year ago, when the government said we're going to set some price control, different price on breadbasket items.
Right.
And according to the paper, I can't say this factually, but according to the paper, one big retailer, wholesaler said, wait a minute, you set a price that's below my cost. So I'm not going to carry it anymore.
Exactly.
It's a food
So at the end of the day, you have to be understanding you want the consumer to have these merchandise. But the reality is we're an island nation that depend on imports, the logistics costs of moving things around. We don't control it. We don't manufacture. We import. So you can't artificially set a price that you think this is reasonable for the consumer to pay for flour or sugar, and it's costing more because it's coming from Brazil, most of the sugar. It's not coming out of Cuba anymore. It's coming out of Brazil and different places that's afraid to get it where it has to go and refine. So all these things you got to take in mind. We don't, listen, if the rising costs that we've borne over the last 10 years weren't there, we'd be sitting here saying business is good.
Exactly.
But the reality is the cost has gone up exponentially.
So it's eroded to
and
54
we have
cents.
not been able to adjust to reflect that reality.
Well, I say that to say, and I'm glad you mentioned the food store guys, because the food store guys can't say to the government, we're about to shut down, you're killing us. And the government say, oh, we'll close.
They don't
But you understand what I'm saying. The government has all the control over the future of your company, it seems. And you're saying you're hurting us, give us this relief, and it's been 2 years.
12 years since the increase.
And 12 years since
the
discussion. But in the discussions. And you're saying, look, we're on the precipice. And still nothing seems to be happening.
Wow.
And there's no many other businesses that exist where that happens.
Exactly.
No.
All right, we're talking with Raymond Jones and Vasco Bastian with the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association. We've got a lot of great questions coming on our text line. I have a few more for you as well, and we've got all these calls. Let's see if we can get through these. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome, and to your guest. Good morning to the Bahamas.
Morning.
Listen, Dwight, I am a businessman, right? And I have a problem with people who are always looking for increase on the backs of the behemoth. I have to find $1,670 a week to pay my employees. I have to find $700-800 a week just to run my equipment, to fill my trucks and to run my equipment. I have to find, and I'm only one of the thousands and thousands of people who are going to these gas stations every day. You can't even get a mint in the shop for under 15 cents anymore. A 5-pack stick of gum costs you $1 or more. Just a small bottle of juice costs you $3.20. But come on, man, how much more money does these gas stations want to make? You understand? As a businessman, I feel like I'm only working to pay people to buy gas, to pay revenue department to run my business and everything. This is crazy. When am I supposed to keep some of the money that I make? You understand? I have a family. I'm looking to do better in my life. I can't do no better, all right? But everybody wants to raise business prices on the backs of the Bahamian people, and I think it is totally unfair, man. I think the government needs to get a grip on the cost of living in this country, because the cost of living is entirely too high. Gas stations are open 24 hours a day. While we're sleeping, they're making money. How much more do you want?
Okay, let's get them to respond. We understand your passion. Thank you.
While I am sleeping, you are making money. Okay, and not just on gas. Everything in those stations are ridiculously high.
Okay.
Ridiculously high.
Caller, thank you very much. Boy.
So I respect and understand the passion that the caller has, but just like him, we're facing a higher cost. As we said earlier, if the price of gas goes to $7 a gallon, we're still only allowed 54 cents. We're buying fuel from the wholesalers who are purchasing it and bringing it from overseas. So we're not blaming the government or anybody else. We're saying is the cost for us to operate on that margin does not afford us an ability to make money just like you. We open 24 hours a day because not everybody can get out of work during the daytime to get their fuel. So they come after hours when you might stop working during the day with your heavy equipment. That's their time to come get fuel. If we shut down, we will save some money, but not sufficient to cover the cost that we need to cover, right? Going in the food store, we're convenience stores. So we're buying stuff at a higher price. The volume is not as great as the Super Value or all the other big stores. So we don't get the volume discounts like they can be afforded because of the purchasing power. So we buy it and try to sell it, add a few cents on to try to make money to keep our employees engaged in meaningful work, right? So we understand your plight because we have the same issue. The difference between us, you could adjust your price depending on the nature of your business to charge your customer more if the price of fuel goes up, right? Selling even diesel, I'm assuming you drive a lot of diesel. We had 34 cents a gallon on the diesel. And when those diesel equipment or something happens to that pump, we have to repair it at no way to adjust costs. Unlike the power companies, anybody else who the cost of fuel goes up, fuel surcharge is going to go up. We're going to recover our money. We don't have that ability. All we're asking is fairness to allow us to get a little bit more out of that. And we don't know if what we end up with the government negotiations. We're saying that's what we need in order for us to survive in the present environment. But we want to sit with the government to talk about how do we manage this. Just as the bus drivers have said, hey, the cost of fuel and driving people downtown is insufficient for me to make a buck. And everybody else in different industries, the people in price control, the food stores says if I got to send something at this price, I want to make more money than that, I'm not going to carry it anymore.
Yeah.
We're not saying that. We want to provide a service, but we want to be able to cover that cost.
This texter says, Mr. Jones, Mr. Batson, you need to go and renegotiate those exorbitant contracts with the oil companies that you're slaves to. What do you say to that?
Well, see, and that's why we're here today, to try to inform the public of what the reality is. We don't have to negotiate a new contract. The way the fuel pricing mechanism in the Bahamas works, the wholesaler imports fuel, they show the invoice to the government, this is my cost of fuel. It's $1. Or whatever the number is, right? $2. The government says, right, as wholesaler, I'm going to allow you to add 34 cents. Right? The government then adds on $1.72 in duties and VAT. On average. Give or take the price of fuel. Then they say, you, Mr. Retailer, you can add on 54 cents. We don't actually. The price is set and given to us by the wholesalers. Right? So we don't, it's not for negotiation. The only negotiation we can have with regards to our margin relates to what the government says it could be allowed to add on to the fuel. That's 54 cents on gas, 34 cents on diesel. We don't have a challenge with the wholesaler because he is actually in the same thing, but he has a volume business because he's selling to probably 50 stations or whatever with a smaller operating cost in terms of the number of people he employs. He has high insurance costs, I'm sure, and risk and development costs and all like that. Some of them complain that, hey, this margin is not keeping up with what we're doing. So it's not negotiation. It's the global market that we're faced with on the importation of fuel. And our margin is just low.
Yeah.
Period.
We don't produce oil in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Right.
We import it.
But again, this idea, and you heard the caller say it. You guys, y'all want everything. You're making all this money while I sleeping. And it seems to like the government almost had that tact early on in your negotiations, saying, we gave you something already. What more you want?
The government alluded to giving us $5 million in the
right.
The industry $5 million.
Yeah.
Chester, petroleum industry in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas contribute $300+ million per annum to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Treasury.
Right.
The government gave us $5 million, works out to be 1.7%. So if I give you $100, so Chester, this is $100 here, and you give me back $1, you give me back $1.70, and you keep $98.30.
Well,
that's what that works out to be. So that's one sec. That's being that statement was an intellectually dishonest statement. The government gave us $5 million to the industry to bring our VAT, our business license, our NIB contributions up to date. Many of the persons within this industry had owed the government NIB contributions, business license fees, and so the government saw fit to give us that money as an incentive to help bail us out when the price of fuel was $7.39 in this country about 2 years ago. So it was a net off. They gave, but they took it away. 90% of the dealers never saw it. So that's a fallacy. And let me tell you something. That gentleman who just called. So, I don't know what business you're in, but think about it like this. If your cost has increased for the last 12 years and you are not in the position to add an extra $1 or $5 to the service that you to provide to your customers, whether or not you would still be in business.
Wow.
This is all about economics. This is all about our survival. This is all about our livelihood. We have families. We have employees. We have children. We have friends. We have everything. We contribute to the society. Come on, man. For 12 years, we haven't gotten one help. And we want it, and we need it, and it must happen.
Raymond Jones?
Let me explain the subsidy the government gave us. So after we had a number of meetings with them talking about our plight, we showed them financial results and things like that, right? And I thanked them for it. They said, okay, you know what? Here's what we can do on a one-time basis to help you out. But the arrangement that credit that we got was, first, all the monies that you still owe. Right. And the fact our economic situation, our financial situation was such that we did owe. Right. Most people owe the government VAT and business license fees and like that. Right. They were sitting there to be paid. Yeah. And they said, okay, we're going to give you a credit. But first and foremost, we're going to recover what's owed to us, which is fair, before we give you the net amount.
Exactly.
So while there's $5 million of credit-ish given back that the minister said to the petroleum retailers, right? What was the actual net amount we actually got from it? Because we had to pay them the money we owed, which is fair.
Right.
If I'm going to give you some money back, let me get my money back. So that's fine. And in terms of what we don't give the government anything per se. The government, through its tax regime, collects just hundreds of millions of dollars on fuel. The consumer pays that. The retailers don't pay that.
Yeah.
But all we're saying is the 54 cents that you've approved for us is insufficient for us to cover our operating costs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're not going to get into what the government cost is because they're the government. They have huge social responsibilities. That's their money. We're not saying they should cut taxes or anything like that. No.
Although some of us are still in shock that they did put VAT on top of this gas tax. But it's been years now, so what's the point of talking about that, right?
It's customs duties, right? Remember now, we're in a society where we don't pay an income tax. Right. So the government has to collect funds through some means. Right. On import duties, it's so that some people say, some people agree, some don't agree, that it's not level. But it is a way for the government to get funds at the border instead of taxing you on your income.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you make more than this gentleman, what happens is he's going to say, wait a minute, I'm paying more than him. Right? So the government says, let's level the paying field, I assumed, and let's collect it on the value of the goods coming in the country.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So you've threatened this before, if I'm correct, about
No threats.
Whether you should be full service. I mean, is it under serious consideration to make people pump their own gas?
No, I mean, I think what it is that we provide a full service. We are a full service industry here in this country, right? So, and even in withdrawing that service, and we are all subject to certain arrangement with the brands that we carry. We still provide that full service because our customers have gotten accustomed for that service. Some people still jump out of the car and they don't wait for the attendant, they go to the pump.
Yeah.
Right? But the majority of them would like to see the attendant pull up. Good afternoon, welcome. How can I serve you? And go get their fuel put in their car for them. So that.
But I mean, don't you think if they know that would cause gas prices to not increase, they'd be willing to accept that?
I don't know whether necessarily the cost of gas.
It's not going to do anything meaningful to the reduction in the price of fuel.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You swipe a credit card, that's 15 cents a gallon. That's gone. We're not saying we don't want that. We want that because that's how people are transforming their payment mechanisms. So we have to adapt to that. We deposit cash.
We
pay for that. Right? We have to pay armored cars to deliver that cash to the bank. There's a cost to that, right? Significant cost, thousands of dollars per month for station to pay for that cash deposit.
Wow.
Right? But that's something we can't do anything about because unless the government told the banks not to levy that cost. I don't think that's going to happen. So all we're saying is that's a rising cost in what we have in the industry. So let us adjust our operating margins to reflect that reality.
And everything comes from this 54 cents. So just take the 54 cents, and all of the operational cost comes from the 54 cents. The salaries, the BPL bill, the water, the insurance, the stolen chucks, the breakaway dispensers, the double security. Everything comes from this 54 cents.
And national insurance.
National insurance.
Will go up again because there's talk about it being underfunded or whatever.
Right, yes.
And it's been put out in the market from last year. We have to increase national insurance.
Wow.
Well, when that happens, who's going to pay it? From our side, we have to eat it out of that same margin again.
Well, also, does the government want to see a situation where...
You think the government wants to see us fail, Chester?
I don't think so.
How could that even be possible? but I don't think the government wants to see you lay off a bunch of pump attendants as well.
No.
To move to
we don't want to do,
self-service.
but we don't want to do that. And like I say, our customers drive how we operate.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If you sit there and he has attendance and I don't,
Right.
to try to save some money, they're like, these guys cut this cost out. I want to be served.
I want to be served, yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Right.
That might change in time, but some customers do it. Some customers don't. But you know,
this is an interesting text. The argument of these gentlemen seems to be quite reasonable. But so ask them what is the government's reasoning? What would be our government's argument as to why it has not increased the margins in all these years? Since we do not imagine that the government is being intentionally cruel and insensitive, what are they telling you? Is it because they're worried about the price being shocking to the public, or what have they said?
Their position has been, we understand your plight, and we're going to do something about it. And then we also hear, after those discussions, statements in the press that we can't afford to do anything right now because of the price of fuel. And when the price was at $7 a gallon, we understand that, right? We said, it'd probably be a negative impact to do something at this point.
Right.
But we've seen price drops over summer, like $1.50, almost $2. Right? So we're saying, listen, if the public gets a bonus of $1.50 drop, and we go back with
20 cents, 25 cents,
an increase. The price will go back up again at some point anyhow because the global factors influence that,
right?
Not us. The 25 cents will disappear that we get, and it'll be a factor of the global market and the influences that happens around the world, and the profit desires of the guys that are selling fuel from in the global market. They challenge the price. They decide they want to make more, or make less.
Yeah.
And I want the motoring public to also pay close attention to the price getting into the summer months. When we started this campaign, gas was at $7.39. That is the highest I've ever seen it in Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now gas is about $5.40 this morning. During the summer months, gas tend to trend upwards, and then it goes down. It's just like the typical business cycle. What goes up must come down. When we started this campaign, gas was at that point. And we've tried, and this exercise could have been done. We could have gotten whatever margin we needed year and a half ago. Never in our wildest dreams as an association, we thought 2 years later, we'd be sitting in 96.9 FM, asking for the same 25 cents that we started to ask for 2 years ago.
Well, let me ask you this. Was the government shocked when you showed them your financials?
The government shouldn't be shocked because the government sees that every month with VAT. The government sees it.
No, but I think in the results,
yeah,
I think some people said, wow, that's it. Because there were people who believe that in that $6 or $7 price, we were actually making more money.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people and the public, and that's why, like we said, we're doing this to educate the public.
Yeah.
Some people in government don't understand what that margin scheme is. So we had to show them,
exactly.
This is what we're getting, And, I just want to ask a question to the caller with the heavy equipment.
Right.
Has he increased his cost of services to his people in the last 12 years?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people say, of course, I can't afford to do this. I've raised my price. We're saying we're hamstrung because of the price regime that we cannot do it on our own. We have to ask permission and negotiate. It's been 12 years, and it's 2 years in negotiation with the current administration to say, please recognize the need.
Yeah.
I believe they recognize it because that's why they did the subvention.
I want to take one more call, but I mean, I know it had been proposed before about a percentage so that if the gas prices go up, it would be as opposed to a fixed margin. Why have you moved away from that?
We didn't move away from it.
You didn't?
Right? That was a proposal that we looked at. We said, yes, we believe that in the interest of everybody, maybe we still would need a higher floor on the bottom if the price comes down.
Right.
But we also believe that at the top end there should be a cap because if it's 15 or 18 cents or whatever it is on the landed cost, it'd be nice to make $1 something a gallon margin. But the reality is that's going to drive a negative impact on our fuel consumption.
Yeah. Exactly.
So let's cap it at some number that's reasonable, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can squeeze in one more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Thanks
really
so much for
quickly
life.
for
I've been holding for half an hour to get on this line. That the gentleman was talking, man, he could be a politician. They would hire him quick because he can talk, boy. I can tell you that now. But anyhow, I know what he's talking for. He's trying to get higher rates. I understand that. But my thing is, all the gas stations them need to do is come together as one and go after the government. The people is easy to talk to the people because the people ain't going to put up a fight. But, and then with the pumps, with the gas stations, man, every time I'm a driver, I'm a taxi driver. And every time I pull up to no gas stations over here. Now, I understand he's complaining, but they destroy the thing. But don't make the masses suffer for the few.
Well, you heard how much he said it is to replace this stuff.
Yeah, it's put a security there. Put a security there.
That's an additional cost. That's an additional cost.
Because listen, these gas station owners, they make plenty money, man. And price control don't even go touchdown. We all know.
What? No, man.
That's how you feel. That's not what they're saying.
No, sir.
Come on.
Sir, taxi driver. That's a misconception.
Taxi drivers spend plenty of money.
We appreciate. Let me tell you something. All driving.
Spend plenty of money with yours.
We the members of the PPRA appreciate all the members of the motoring public, whether or not you're a Shell customer, a Esso customer, or a Rubens customer.
Or if you're an electric customer.
So you understand if I have a job in my car. If I have a job in my car, I can't get no air. You understand?
Yeah, no, but we want to be on behalf of all of the employees, all of the executive team of the BPRA. We want to thank the motoring public for their support over the many, many years. But we want you all to understand that price that you see displayed on the dispenser at the gas station, all of that funds do not go in the pockets of the person who runs that particular site. Out of that money that you see displayed, that figure you see displayed on the pump, we only get 54 cents.
No matter what the
price is. 54 cents. 0.54.
Wow. What can you buy with that?
And that price has been that, and that's been that way for the last 2 12 years. A young girl who is now in grade 6 was graduating in June. The last time we got a margin increase was when she was born. I want to make that a point. So the driving public, we support you, we respect you, we appreciate you. But please, ask the Prime Minister, ask the Deputy Prime Minister, ask the Minister of Economic Affairs, ask the Financial Secretary to please meet with us. Meet with Bahamian business owners who need help. We've been asking for 2 years. We haven't got an increase in 12 years. Please, help us, Mr. Prime Minister.
And Raymond Jones, you sent a letter. Did you get a response, even acknowledgement to your letter?
We haven't gotten it yet.
Nothing.
But that's typical. So we expect and hope that at some point in the next few days, the Prime Minister, I know he's been traveling, will call and say, hey, listen, I'll give you 10 minutes or whatever it is. Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
This is something that can be worked out. But let me say one thing to the taxi driver that called in. We have not made a decision to say we're not going to put air there. It so happens, unfortunately, that probably when you show up at the pump to get air, someone stole it. And most times someone drives and they block the view from security and from the attendants when they cut it off. But our commitment is to make sure we have that because we're drivers also. And we want to pull up and get air for our cars because, you know, if you don't have air, the tire goes down and your spare's gone, you're in trouble. So we thank you for your support, but we're here to serve.
They got to watch them air hoses get shorter and shorter.
Just over here, sir.
Oh, gosh. Raymond Jones, thank you so much. Vasco Bastian, always a pleasure. Thank you both for being here. Keep us updated, of course. And, you know, this is a tough one, but we do wish you all the best.
But really before we go, if anyone sees the Prime Minister, Michael Akitas, Simon Wilson, or the Deputy Prime Minister, ask them if we could have a meeting with them.
You know they're too busy to ask about their own contracts to talk about Joel. But yes, they should do that. Everybody have a great